Hey, what's up guys, this is Liam Weagle on your Overwatch, back with a new video, and today we have some more information about Overwatch 2. You're going to be seeing some gameplay from the panel that they just had on the Blizzard website, as well as some gameplay from XQC in the new Tug of War game mode called Push. We also had Jeff talk a little bit about the release date, new heroes, and features coming to the live game very soon, and a bunch of new maps. So there's a lot to cover, and we're also going to be having some cool interviews and stuff to show you over the weekend as well, so make sure you're subscribed for any of that to come. So first things first, the newest game mode called Push, which I've just watched XQC smack some people in, actually looks to be really fun, and it's been explained really well by Jeff Kaplan. You have a robot that starts in the middle of the map that needs to be escorted by both teams. This is why it's kind of a tug of war style game where you're trying to push it as far back as you can, and so are the enemies. When you move next to the robot, it's going to move forwards as long as it's not being contested by the enemy team. As you push it through to other points, like you might with a payload, you will actually unlock some forward spawn points as you push it. But the thing that does happen is that he does move a lot faster when he's not pushing the objective. So if your robot is running backwards or forwards to or from the objective, he's going to move considerably quicker. If you manage to push the objective all the way to the end, you'll get an instant victory. This goes, of course, for both sides. However, if you push it only a certain distance, the enemy has to actually push you all the way back in kind of this slingshot mechanic to try and outscore your distance, and if they don't and neither team gets it to the end, then the one with the furthest distance will be the winner, which is nice because I'm hoping that means there won't be any overtime mechanic, although I'm sure that's something that could still work for this game mode as well. It's just one that I personally don't like too much. What's interesting about this game mode is that there aren't really choke points per se as there usually are, and fights could be happening all over the map at the same time. It's a really high level mechanic that people employ in the current Overwatch to spawn trap somebody that might be key to the fight, and I think with all of the flanks and the way that this kind of point zigzags through the map, players like that are going to be really important for your team. The red line, of course, shows the pass of the robot through the map, but there's actually a lot of shortcuts for you to use, and it makes it really flanky, and apparently heroes that aren't currently that meta will become more meta, although of course if new heroes are going to be coming out as well, that will also make a big difference. Now there's actually going to be a lot of new PvP maps according to the devs on the panel, and these 4 maps that they showed were Gothenburg, Monte Carlo, Rio de Janeiro, and Toronto. The thing about this though is that Toronto is the only one that has been shown gameplay of so far. They've also announced that they're going to be adding maps for all of the current game modes in the game as well, which begs a question, how many maps are we going to get? Overwatch is extremely complicated as it is. In fact, most esports games specifically have a small map pool because it's too difficult even for the best players to learn them all. So with Overwatch not doing this to date, I'm not convinced that they will bring some kind of map pool system or veto out, but I personally think that they absolutely should, at least for competitive. The game's been out 3.5 years, and some of the maps that were originally in the game are still misunderstood, so adding even more to that pool could add more frustration if they don't limit the amount of maps maybe per season or per vote, or I'm sure there's something cool that they could do there, but it's just too difficult, and there's actually something that even pro players in the Overwatch League have struggled with in their careers, and they're a lot better than you or I. That's everything for the new game mode though. Let me know what you think about it. I think it looks pretty cool, and I look forward to getting my hands on it. One thing you will have noticed in the gameplay is that there is a new HUD system. They're trying to make how much health you have and everything way more clear, and damage from different directions as well seems to be something that they want to work on, so you know where you're being shot from by the use of these new kind of hit markers on the screen. You've also got specific HUD options like for Mercy, where it's a lot more obvious who she's healing, and just a much better overall HUD experience. I know that this can be something that's quite subjective and you can let me know your opinion on it, but it looks a lot cleaner to me and it's something that I look forward to having in the game. Now, Jeff didn't talk a lot about new heroes, but he did mention that Sojourn is Canadian and that all of the new heroes are going to be coming at once and that it will be a big mix-up in the meta. He actually compared it to the beta where they added a few heroes in at once and it was chaotic to say the least. I'm hoping there'll be some kind of beta for this game too, so that this isn't an issue when the game comes out. He did also say that the Gothenburg map is really cool and there's a couple of heroes they want from it. I'm not sure exactly what he meant by that, but we're definitely going to be getting at least 3 heroes from what they've been saying when this drops. Now, speaking of when it drops, Jeff actually said that he has no idea when this is going to drop. However, there was some massive leaks from last week, as a lot of you guys would know, from Metro, and Metro has been pretty much 100% accurate on the leaks so far, and if that continues, it seems like they are planning for an early 2020 release, even though everything Jeff has said has pointed to them being quite a ways out and even going dark from now on what they're going to talk about. I tend to lean away from Jeff and actually believe the leaks at this point since they've been so accurate, but that is up to you to decide. I'd be surprised if we're waiting longer than 2020 to see Overwatch 2 though. Now, you might be thinking that's everything, and you would be wrong, because there's a few other changes coming to the live game before them, although it doesn't look like we're getting any new heroes before Overwatch 2, so that's kind of interesting. But if you're someone that has long queue times, well, now you're going to be able to go into the training room or play a new deathmatch mode that they're going to be adding just for waiting in queue. This is important for everyone that plays the game, but something that's really important to competitive games is, of course, experiencing it through better players and streamers, and currently the game's almost unstreamable for them because of the long queue times, making them play Minecraft or other games for a high percentage of their stream while they wait in queue. Well, now they'll be able to practice and warm up, and that's not just good for them, it's good for the rest of us, because if we're normally waiting 10 or 15 minutes in a queue and we're not professionals, well, we're probably feeding when we get into the game. I know that I am sometimes anyways. But it goes a little bit further, and you will be able to go to custom games or workshop while in the queue and do whatever you want, Jeff says, which I think is really, really cool. So with the fact that all of the leaks have been accurate so far, hopefully we get this game sometime in the first half of next year. I was hoping that they would be bringing it out for the anniversary event, as they have already announced that there will not be an Archives event. In fact, the only thing they've truly announced is that this is going to be mostly a PvE expansion that is exclusive to Overwatch 2, and that Sojourn is the heart of that. And we'll be doing another video on a lot of that interesting PvE stuff. What I find quite interesting about this, and I've already spoke to Frito briefly as well, is that even though they're redefining sequels apparently, this does seem more like they're redefining an expansion. For anyone that isn't 100% sure, if you play the core game of Overwatch 1 for competitive and quick play and all of them heroes, they will not be locked away from you in Overwatch 2. You will be able to play with people on Overwatch 2, and I'm assuming that the engine is going to update for both games. As far as we know so far, Overwatch 2 exclusive content is only the story mode and ability progression stuff. All of your cosmetics, all of your heroes, the new maps, and new game mode should be playable for everyone in Overwatch 1 and 2. So as I say, this is more of a complicated expansion series than a follow-up direct sequel, in my opinion anyway. So let me know in the comments section what you guys think to any of this stuff. Of course, we covered a lot, and we will be covering some more stuff over the weekend, including some cool interviews with developers. Let us know what you think. Be sure to drop a like, as it does help us out and lets us know you're enjoying the content, and you're going to want to smash that bell icon so that you get notified when our videos go live. Be sure to have a great day as always. Take care and peace, people.